What's up, you guys? This is FearD10 and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about some announcements that Remedy Entertainment made. And if you guys don't know who Remedy Entertainment is, well, you probably might remember the games Alan Wake, which I never got the chance to play, Quantum Break, another game that I didn't get the chance to play, and Max Payne, which I did play and it was one of my all-time favorites. And after that, they sold the rights to Rockstar's, and then Rockstar's Interactive 2 made, Max Payne 2 and 3. So the announcement that Remedy Entertainment made during an interview with GameIndustry.biz that was published today was that making the traditional AAA single experience costs too much. In fact, it has increased tenfold according to them. So according to the head of communications, Thomas Puja in Remedy Entertainment, in the article he said, end quote, "The reality is the traditional AAA single-player experience is just really expensive to make. The expectation level from gamers is really high in terms of how long the game is, what sort of feature it has, how good the production values are. All those things are very expensive to do, and if you go back 10 years, you could still say the console market is roughly the same size. In the end, the audience you're selling to is relatively the same size, but the cost of making the game is tenfold these days, so that's an obvious problem." And his comments have a lot of truth in it, and I have to say this, but a lot of gamers are kind of blind to it, or they choose not to see this part of gaming. They just want instant gratification, which is something that I'm gonna point out to a little bit later that kind of has to do with this. But it's the cost there nowadays for games is higher than it was before, and you can even compare it to how much making a movie costs. Obviously, it's not there yet, but it's getting close to it. And when you think about the production value, you want a game to, if it costs this much amount of money to make, you think that it's gonna make this certain amount of money. And it goes into what he was saying, how the production cost for this type of single player experience costs more, but their audience that they're selling to is about the same as back then. I do understand that point, and it is a valid point for a reason to move away from the single AAA experience because of cost. But I don't believe that that shouldn't be necessarily like the whole reason why they should move away. And I believe that it's probably it's not easy to make a single player game that adds replayability, because I think only a few games that are single player and people go back to it, it's only a few that I believe that have done it right. And for me personally, if anybody knows me, I believe that Skyrim is one of the games that has done it really well. I mean, yes, it's not the greatest story game, but man, it's for a single player, that game has crazy amount of replayability. And I think a lot of games need to take away certain parts of that game and add it to their single player experience, but not a lot of games have successfully done that. And in that interview, there was also another reason why they moved away from the single player experience, and it was because it frustrated developers on how they spent so much time making this single players stories, environments, and stuff like that, and players would just play it once and they'll be done with it. And in a way, I kind of understand that, because you put so much effort on something and you want somebody to experience in its way that you intended to. And in today's gamers, a lot of gamers have that fault where they just want to get done with that game and then move on to the next ones, because there's so many good games that you really don't have the time to just spend one game unless you really want to, which I kind of tend to do sometimes. I mean, if I really enjoy a game, I'm not gonna play the newest games right away. I'm just like that. But there's a lot of people that are not like that. They just play that game, they move on to the next one, and and they don't really get to enjoy the game, and also and see the effort that these developers are putting to these games. And I can see that, from that perspective, they can find it frustrating, and it's just a lose-lose situation for both developer and gamer, that I have no idea how, anybody can remedy that. The only way I can see it is actually going back to what I was talking about, replayability. They need to do it right. they need to like put a lot of thought in how to make a player, you know, play a game that they already beat. And, you know, obviously it's not going to be for the story. It has to be something that really entices them to play the game again. If story and gameplay don't work together, you know, obviously, you know, they're going to play only for one or the other. And if it's for story, they're just going to be one and done. For it has to be gameplay that has to add that replayability. So that's how things are in Ready Entertainment. I'm pretty sure a lot of other gaming companies are gonna follow this. It's kind of unfortunate, but hopefully, you know, the single player experience is still not dead. I would believe that it's not, but who knows, you guys. Remedy Entertainment right now is currently working on another title called P7. It's a cinematic third-person action game, and they're gonna be adding multiplayer elements to it, a cooperative. But they're also, you know, they said that they don't want to break away from what they're known for, story, so they're also gonna continue that. So it's just interesting to see, you know, where Remedy Entertainment is gonna go with, you know, their single player experience now with, you know, adding multiplayer, which is not a bad thing. But I'm just hoping that they don't just completely get away from the single player experience. And, you know, let's just also see, you know, how other gaming companies, you know, do from now on. You know, if it is really true that, you know, the biggest thing for them is the cost. So I personally, I would be willing to pay that extra couple bucks to support the single player experience. But I don't know about you guys, or would you be, you know, okay with them adding, you know, more multiplayer stuff? That way, you know, that if, you know, they add microtransactions, or for God forbid if they add microtransactions to certain games to support them. But I don't know. That's my thoughts. I want to know your thoughts about, you know, this whole issue. But that's all I had to say. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And remember that this was Fear D10. I'll be seeing you guys later.